What I'm doing this fall is, and what part of our presentation will be, is directing the Triumph of Love. And here's the poster. It would be lovely if you could come. It's by Pierre Marivauxs, and it is a play from the 1730s. However, we're updating it to the Belle Époque, which is the turn of the last century, also the Edwardian era. It seems that some of the pressure points in the play also reflect that era, and it's also closer to modern audiences, so they have a sense of what's going on. So, and that it wouldn't be just a history piece. What I've given you is just our little blurb about all the things that we do in the department. We have 3 what we call main stage shows. Usually those are directed by faculty, but students are involved in every aspect of it, from the acting, from the technical behind the scenes. So usually the professor is just, kind of like a traffic cop, an overseer of everything. But it's also, we have a technical director who's one of our professors, Bruce Keller. He also on this show is the set designer. Glenn Gower, who is the lighting designer, is overseeing a student who's going to be doing the lights, designing the lights for the show. And what's unusual about this year and next year, because we moved out of Lincoln Hall, is we're no longer in the big space at Lincoln, but we're in the second stage space of Artist Repertory Theater, which is a professional theater company in town, and so our first 2 shows are there. And it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for students to work in a professional space, as well as be involved with some of the professionals there at ART. So I'm kind of excited, even though it's a scramble. I'm really excited. And then our 3rd show, which is on here, which is The Imaginary Invalid, which is an adaptation of Molière by Constance Condon, a living playwright. That is going to be over in the Winningstad at PCPA. So again, wonderful opportunity for students. The theater program, I'm not going to talk very much. I'm rather going to have Carrie, and I'll introduce you to her in a minute. We have 180 theater arts majors, and we have about 66, I think that's the latest number, of film majors. And the film major just started last year. And we proposed that there would be about 50 film majors within the first 5 years. This is the beginning of the 2nd year, and we have 66 already. So obviously there's a demand for this major. And eventually we'll have production in all of that. So, yeah, okay. But what I wanted to show you this morning is I asked several of my actors to come. It's morning, and it's hard for actors.
The cheese stands alone.
And I had 2 actors coming, but Morris might be still asleep. I don't know, because we have late rehearsals, and we were here till about 10:30, 11 o'clock last night. So not in this space, in another space. But Carrie Emmerich is in the play. She's playing the character of Leontine. Yeah, and do any of you know The Triumph of Love at all? Okay, yeah. Okay, very, very briefly, it's a romantic comedy with a very French edge to it, in that you have a character, Leonide. She comes into this garden estate, and because she comes into this estate and invades their space, she's in love with a young man there, but she has to hide her identity. It's a little bit like Shakespeare in Twelfth Night. She has to dress up as a guy. And then she brings her confidant with her, her maid, Karin, and they come into the space dressed as guys, and ultimately she wants to get to Agis. But what she has to do is go through this brother and sister, and this is the sister of the brother and sister, who are in this estate, and this is a little bit like Love Slavers Lost, where they come to the estate because they want to have, it's all about the age of enlightenment and reason, so they study. And love, they're going to keep this far away. So this princess comes into this estate to find her love interest, and she eventually the sister falls in love with her, the brother falls in love with her, and it's all about mistaken identity, a little bit of gender bending, but it's really a lot of fun. But there is a little bit of an edge at the end, because some people are left alone, like Malvolio in Twelfth Night. So if you know the Shakespeare plays, so there are a lot of those kinds of pressure points. And Carrie has graciously agreed to come here this morning, and we were going to do a scene with 2, but you're here and if Winston doesn't come. So, if there, are you going to use the script?
No.
Okay, because we're still in the rehearsal process, you guys. We're still working out the blocking, still working out the language, but they're off book. And so.
You won't see any tap dancing.
Right. Okay. So maybe talk about the senior.
Sure.
A little bit.
I have been not typecast. My whole life I've played a lot of young gals or boys, and so I'm used to playing young gals or boys. And I'm a spinster sister, and this has been very challenging and very meaty, and I'm very thankful to Karin for pushing actors into spaces they wouldn't normally go. That's really a mercy. As an actor, you tend to get stuck in the same spot all the time, so Karin has really pushed the envelope with me a little bit, and I appreciate that. The spinster sister, want to watch? No? Oh, I'm so embarrassed. The spinster sister is having a mini argument with this woman dressed in drag as a man, and is slowly getting closer to the idea of being able to be in love with someone. So, her name is Leontine. She's very, I'd like to say pious, but that's kind of slanted language. She's kind of a stick in the mud, but very smart, like most of us stick in the mud. So, this is a piece where she is trying to decide whether or not she can love somebody else. But can a virtuous love inspire feelings that are not virtuous? I don't understand. What have you come here to do, Faucon? What is happening to me? What is inconceivable? Would you have me lose my heart? Would you have me lose my reason? Am I to love you, I who have never loved? When in the end your flattery is meaningless, for you are young. You are handsome, while I am neither. Very well, sir. It was said that I had my small share of beauty, or so it was said. But it shames me to say it. Oh, perhaps you will make me come to regret that I disdained the charms I was given. Shames me now to say that they are gone, or what little is left of them soon will be. I am no longer what I was. There's a scene in the next act. I get a nice arc. I'm not willing. I'm kind of willing. I'm head over heels in ridiculous love, which plays off a funny way of doing that. She's got a part in the second act that happens after a passionate display from this woman dressed as a young man, and says the following: "Such demonstrative behavior, such emotion! No, Faucon, now I am certain you must leave. I will not be involved in this anymore. Good heavens, what would become of my heart were it as emotional as yours? I would have always to struggle and resist, yet never win. It is love you wish to arouse in me, isn't it, love? And not the anguish of feeling love, because that is all I would feel. So go, please, just go away and leave me as I am." It's a very funny show. The language is so fast, and the physicality is so different than what I'm used to as a performer. This has really been a stretch, and I'm very pleased to be at a theater program where they will stretch. They do not always choose the safe, boring, everyone will pay the ticket price to come see a show. They do push the envelope a little bit, and it's very hard to find theater programs that will do that in Oregon State. I come from Central Oregon. I was attending COCC, Central Oregon Community College, which closed its doors on the theater program due to lack of funding. Several of their programs were also closed. I find that PSU really is a beacon for rural communities in Oregon and places where there are artsy folks who do need an education and there is nowhere to get it. So I moved here as a transfer student, finished my first year, and this is the beginning of my second year. I'm the recipient of the 2008 Lone Sheridan Scholarship, and that has gone a long way to making things easier. For me, I do work full-time in public health. I'm a medical assistant and a Spanish medical interpreter. I also have a concurrent foot in the languages department here at Portland State. So the program's been very forgiving with letting me have a foot in several different pies. And the instructors have just been, this one standing aside, let's pretend she's not in the room. I would not have made it through my first year at Portland State if I hadn't had the support of the amazing, amazing, amazing faculty here. And I know a lot of students can speak to the same. So it's a beacon, it's absolutely priceless, and I really hope it remains as a service for students in Oregon. It needs to be. Thank you for coming.
And what else can I say about the program? One of the really unique aspects to Portland State is that we're here in Portland, and all of the people on staff work professionally in the professional theater, whether it's through design, directing. I do a lot of dramaturgy in town with a lot of theater companies like Arts Repertory Theater, Portland Center Stage, Third Rail, and we all work out there and bring that stuff back in. And as well, our students can get involved in internships in town, which is harder when you're in a residential university. But here we're urban, we can send them out to all of these places, and the theaters here just love working with our students, both in tech, in acting. We've had several students on stage, and then working behind the scenes, working, professionally. So it's pretty neat. Are there any questions? Yes, sir.
So, students in the program, they don't declare, I want to be an actor and I'm not interested in stagecraft. Or, I mean, do you say if you're going to be an actor, you also need to know about lighting and costuming and set direction?
It is cross-trained. You will be working the bandsaw whether or not you have a star trailer. It's beautiful. It's very cross-trained. They will teach you all aspects of stagecraft, including acting, if that's your declared major.
Yeah, and Aaron is also a student. He's my stage manager. If you want to speak to that, Aaron.
Yeah,
You've been
actually,
here a couple of years, right?
I'm a declared performance emphasis, and I'm stage managing right now. And I never thought I would stage manage, but when I came here, you get such a well-rounded education in just theater in general. You learn the acting, you learn how to work a
Bandsaw.
Genie.
How to work a genie,
Yeah,
how to
work the
make
genie,
focus
yes.
lines, how to build a Hollywood flat or a standard flat. And then a lot of people they'll go in saying, yes, I'm going to be performance emphasis, but then they go on and like, oh, but I really like designing costumes now too, and then they'll do that also. And it's really cool, and it's easier to get work in the field if you know both aspects. So.
But are there some that are the other direction, have no aspirations to be an actor
Yes.
and just say, I really want to.
Oh, absolutely. We have people who just want to do tech, and they come in and they do tech, and it's great. However, there's a core to being a student here for that breadth. So, for example, even if you're a tech person, you have to take, as part of the core, script analysis. You have to take one acting course, take a costume design course, take a set design course, lighting. They have to be able to do all of those things. And then we have workshop credits, which means that you're involved in some way in lighting design, in costumes, publicity, because that's also very, very important, or in stage management, assistant direction, dramaturgy. So we've got a lot of things going on, a lot of things. And then we have, with the film, the students can take film as well, whether they're a film major or a theater major. So there's a lot of cross-pollination there as well. I had the writing part of the program, and so we're dealing with dramatic writing, which is playwriting as well as screenwriting. So there's that, cross-pollination as well. So yeah, somebody can come in with tech. We have a lot of people who identify with tech, but they still have to do the other, and they go, oh, I don't want to get on stage. But then they get on stage and they realize what an actor needs. See, that's part of what it's about. What does an actor need? And actors, what are people doing for you behind stage? Whether it's with props or with set or with this. Where do the costumes come through? And so it's learning all that.
We have time for one more question.
Okay, one more question. We have one question here, please.
Do you have a bachelor's and a master's in this program? I mean, not you personally.
Yeah, the school, yes. We have a BA/BS for in all the departments in fine and performing arts. In the theater we do. We also have a master's in theater, and this is a secret, but I'm working on trying to get, and it takes time, but I'm trying to get a Master of Fine Arts in dramatic writing and dramaturgy. So, because I know that there is a demand for it out there. And so that's when it may take a couple years, but we're trying to get a professional degree in our department as well. So yes, we have bachelor's and master's, and then hopefully soon an MFA. So yes, okay. You guys need to go? Wow.
It was like